What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Sinister Bunny Studios, your go-to channel for heavy metal content. And today we're going to be going over another newly released plugin from the folks over at Neural DSP, and it's a big one. If you don't know, on Friday, which is yesterday, Neural DSP released the Soldano SLO-100 amplifier plugin. And if you don't know what the Soldano SLO-100 amplifier is, well, oh boy, do you have some research to do. If you're a guitar player, you probably know what it is. Pretty infamous amplifier, especially back in the late 80s and 90s. Eddie Van Halen was a big proponent, big user of this, and a lot of the heavy metal chug amplifiers that are for modern tones and modern bands and modern metal music are based off of this. And this is a beastly motherfucking amplifier, and one day I will have one of my own. One day, but they're like $4,000. But now you can spend $120 US, I believe it is, for a digital form. And that's basically what this is. It's a digital representation of the Soldano SLO-100 amplifier. And yeah, I mean, that's a freaking awesome thing to have. You have the amplifier in your computer. So I'm just going to do a quick overview of the plugin, the interface and whatnot, like I always do with all these plugins, and then I can go into some tones and start playing around with the sounds. So you start off with this. This is the front face of it. I actually have a preset here made. Don't mind the Soldano shit just yet. Let's just go to default. So this is what you get as a default. This is what you open it up with, and this is kind of how it sounds right off the bat. With my John Petrucci Majesty 7-string. It's so good. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. The whole interface here is the usual Neural DSP setup. At the bottom here, you've got like your settings for your audio stuff. You have your MIDI control stuff, a tuner to tune your guitar. I'm in a tap tempo right now because I have the standalone version of this plugin open as opposed to a VST. So you can set the tempo of delay and stuff, which we'll look at later, to your song. At the top, you have the input level. You have a gate, which is always useful for a lot of gain and chugs. You have an input mode of stereo or mono, which you can switch between those. You have your preset selector over here where you can save presets, select presets, delete them, search for them, whatever you want to do. And then at the far right, you have the output level. And then obviously you have the interface of the whole amplifier. But we'll go far left and swipe to the right. So the very far left side, you have some designed by Neural DSP stomp boxes or foot switches, foot pedals, whatever you want to call them, wherever from around the world you're from. And you have a compressor, you have one overdrive, two overdrive, and a chorus. So it's really cool. You get some 4 pedals that have been designed by Neural DSP to sound good and work really well with this amplifier. And compressor is nice for cleans. Overdrives are obviously needed and highly used for chug. And chorus is always nice to have some chorus on there. Then you have the actual amplifier interface itself with, it has an overdrive channel, which is like the heavy channel, and then the normal, which is like your clean crunch, depending on how much you push the amplifier. You have your normal levels for the preamp and the overdrive. You have bass, middle, treble controls, level, and overdrive for the master, the power section, and then a presence and depth dial with a standby and power. And typical, just like the actual amp itself. And then, like with every Neural DSP plugin, you have this 9-band EQ, which comes so much in handy for mixing the guitars and stuff, because you don't have to add any extra EQ or anything to your guitars as a separate plugin and use up processing power on your computer. You have it already built in right here, and you can mess with the EQ and get everything dialed in exactly how you want it. And then you have the cabinet selector and the IR selector, where you, just like every other Neural DSP plugin, can select from a range of included microphone IRs, as well as load your own custom IRs into this and move them to wherever you want to put them, wherever you please. You can change the position with these dials over here and move the microphone around and the level and stuff, or you can click and drag it around wherever you want to put it. And the same goes for the right side. You can have 2 mics at once, and you can pick from a wide range of microphones, from a Dynamic 57, SM57, to 421, condenser microphones, ribbon microphones, the whole shebang. You've got it all right there. And then at the ass end of it all, you've got a designed by Neural DSP delay and a designed by Neural DSP reverb, which is, again, very nice to have all in one plugin. So like I was saying earlier with the tap tempo down here, and especially with the standalone version, because you're not within your DAW, you can set the tempo of the delay and sync that up and use some reverb to give you some room sound and ambiance for those ambient guitar tones and whatever you want to have, unless you want to go full Devin Townsend with some extreme delay and reverb on your guitar and stuff like that, which you can do. But it's nice to have those, especially with the ping pong effect over here. Ping pong delay is so good. But enough boasting about that. That's just a quick overview. Let's kind of get into some tones. So like I said, let me actually switch back because I messed with the IR stuff. This is at the default. This is when you first open it. This is what everything is set to, and this is the tone you would get if you were playing this with my guitar. So already off the bat, it sounds pretty... It's got gain. I can tell you that. It's got gain, and it just sounds good. And it sounds, at least from what I've heard in videos and demos and stuff, because I've never heard a Soldano SLO-100 in real life personally, but I have heard videos and stuff like that. It sounds pretty close to what I have heard. But yeah, let's just kind of go through maybe some presets here. As you can see, you have the artist presets, you have the factory presets, and then user stuff that you make yourself. And these are just the factory ones that come from probably like Neural DSP, the ones that they make. And then you have the artist stuff where Andrew Baina, I think that's how you say his name, he's a YouTube guy. Charlie Griffiths from Haken. You know, it's just, you got all these different people who have Jamie Slays, another YouTube guy. Kian, I watch him a bit. He's got some presets in here. Let's see. Who else do we got on here? I mean, you just got a lot of names. I don't see Ola on here yet, but I just got a lot of presets. Let's go to Haken stuff because I love Haken. John Gain, Bruce Wayne, Gain the Rock Johnson, John Gain, Michael Gain, Robert Gainey Jr. It's a lot of puns. That's kind of funny. Ving Gaines. Let's try that. Oh, it sounds good. And I've got my guitar tuned because it's a 7-string. I've got it tuned to drop A, so we'll just see how it handles some lower stuff. You can get some really good pinch harmonics out of this thing. You can get some nice pinch harmonics out of some of this. I just love this kind of sound, and obviously it's not the most... It's not the most like pushed sound, and obviously we can mess with that on where was I at? What one was that? Ving Gaines obviously, you know, you can do whatever you want with this. But that's just some of the preset stuff. Like, you can have some fun. You don't even really need to dial in your own tone. You can just go through some of the presets that are on here and do it all that way. But I'm going to reset it back to default and just kind of show you what some of these pedals can do. So what I'll have to do, this is probably on a, let's switch it to maybe a clean. Or a crunch. Let's go with a crunch. I mean, a compressor, right? So you got like, turn on, just kind of. It's just a compressor, and it does exactly what a compressor does. I mean, it just kind of squishes the sound, helps keep things consistent when you're playing cleans, and maybe it gets rid of a little bit of dynamics, but it overall gives you a more consistent sound if that's what you're shooting for. You could also use a compressor on like a solo, like a lead tone, just in case some of your notes aren't as prominent as others, and some can be kind of spiky and some can be really quiet. It just kind of helps in terms of the mix context with like solo stuff, clean stuff. And I mean, if you want to throw it on a heavier gainy tone, you can too, but heavily distorted tones are already compressed quite a lot. But now we'll move over to the first overdrive and see how that sounds. So this is what we got before the overdrive. This is just the default setting on the amp. We'll turn on the overdrive 1. Let's get our normal thing here. Level, max, drive down, tone. I usually crank it to about 3 o'clock. So it's, again, closer comparison. Here's without it. Here's with it. Just gives it that push. Nice. I mean, I it's nice. I mean, that seems to me like a more rhythmic overdrive. Let's see what overdrive 2 now. Let's hear it before, and then with it, overdrive 2. Before, after it's on. So to me, that sounds more like a soloing kind of overdrive, as opposed to overdrive 1, which to me sounds more for like a rhythmic. That's like a rhythm type of overdrive, and this sounds to me more like for, More like soloing kind of stuff, if that makes any kind of sense. If you really just want that pushed kind of articulate, punchy kind of solo sound. And on top of that, you know, it's got a top end boost, so that can help your solo stick out in a mix. So to me, overdrive 1 is like a rhythm kind of overdrive. Overdrive 2 is like a lead kind of overdrive. And obviously you can do whatever you want with these. There's no limit, but that's just what I would use them for. And then obviously you have the chorus. Chorus is always good. It's John Petrucci uses it a shit ton for some of their stuff, especially just to give it a different texture, your guitar tone that is. And man, they come out with so many good things. It's so hard not to love all of them. So let's kind of move over here to some of this delay and reverb stuff. So first of all, let's just try out the reverb. So this is before, right? Dry. Here it is after. That's a lot of room. Just to give you some room, you know? Just give you a little bit of ambience, however you say it. And then you have the delay. Oh, I love a good delay. And then you throw the reverb on top of it. Oh, oh, it just sounds so good. And I mean, especially for a lead tone, that's just right there. And then you got the controls here. And we haven't even touched the controls at all. Because it just, to me, it sounds so good. Where was I? Let me turn off these over here. Okay. And, oh, no. Actually, let's get a little bit of a clean tone here. So you got the crunch and clean switch right here, right next to the level switch. So this is maybe where you would want to throw on the compressor, right? Right. And so we get the level up. Let's get the level back up on the master here. Nice power chord. Right. And then, ooh. But yes, then you've got the crunch. So that's always nice to have on top of everything else. So you got 3 channels, essentially: clean, crunch, and normal and overdrive. Which normal is just the crunch and clean setting. You just got to switch it with another switch. And then you have a bright switch here between the clean and crunch. Just gives you a little more clarity, a little more glassiness to everything. But let's just let's do a little bit of this here. And we'll also get the chorus on here. We'll go over here, throw on the delay and some reverb, just as the default settings. I wish I had some really cool clean stuff to play here, but I'm also oh, wow, I'm a little out of tune. Let's get the tuner. That comes in handy, eh? Oh, that G string is always a problem, isn't it? There we go. See, it's just that simple. And I didn't have to touch a thing of another VST or anything to correct that. I just had to do it right in here. So I mean, this is it's such a good plugin, and I'm gonna have to try to cut this a little shorter here because I'm afraid my camera is gonna die on me. But I love getting lost in a lot of these plugins. It's just a problem for my camera because Sony sucks with overheating and stuff. But I kind of wanted to go over a handful of different other some different tones and stuff like that. It's just a chunky thing, and I love it. I mean, if you guys want to see more of this stuff, I'm definitely going to be writing a song with it. I'm still on my 14-day free trial, so I'm waiting to think about if I want to purchase this. I probably will, just to add it to the arsenal. But, you know, I'm going to probably release a song with this. All right, so the inevitable happened, and I must have jinxed it. My camera overheated and died, and I'm having a lot of problems with it, so I need to make sure I end things out right here. Sony, you suck with your A5100 camera. I hope things are better, and I want to upgrade. Anyway, that's the end of this, and like I said, this is an amazing plugin. It's based off an amazing and iconic amplifier. It's got such a wide range of tones that you can get from the cleans to the crunch to the freaking heavy overdrive stuff. It's good stuff. I will probably be purchasing this myself. I'm still on the trial, which you can get a 14-day free trial to test it out before you buy it. Link in the description for Neural DSP. Yeah, be on the lookout for a tune that I write using this amplifier to see what it can do in a mix. And like I always say, thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you all for sticking around. Keep on chugging, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, guys.